Das hat's noch nie gegeben.
What the
Fun.
Tada. Wir machen
Einen wunderschönen guten Abend, liebe Fun-Freunde da draußen, zur Folge 34 von WTF zu What the Fun. Ich hoffe, ihr könnt mich da draußen gut hören. Wir melden uns wieder hier aus unserem Home-Studio. Ich darf heute in dieser Webshow meine Premiere, mein Debüt für Prosieben Fun feiern, was diese Webshow angeht. Und ein Mann, mit dem wir jetzt sprechen, den kennt ihr natürlich aus den 33 Folgen vorher schon, nämlich Nico Zatzek. Nico, kannst du mich hören?
Max, ich kann dich blendend hören und ich freue mich, endlich mal mit dir hier auch sein zu dürfen, denn auch wenn du bei der Show das erste Mal am Start bist, bist du ja ein alter Bekannter bei Prosieben Fun.
So ist es und ich freue mich auch sehr, dass ich hier mal mitmachen darf. Ich möchte aber kurz vorneweg sagen, ich bin tierisch neidisch auf dich. Seit spätestens diesem Jahr. Ich durfte letztes Jahr mal zu Besuch bei euch im Haus sein in Portugal. Und du bist seit dem Corona-Ausbruch, das muss ich jetzt nochmal aus persönlichem Interesse fragen, die ganze Zeit da gewesen, ja?
Nicht ganz. Wir waren nochmal 2,5 Monate in Deutschland, sind aber jetzt hier. Aber sind wir mal ganz ehrlich, andere Themen, die heute wichtig sind, oder Max?
Ja, das stimmt. Aber ich würde dich gerne nochmal besuchen kommen und das möchte ich so verankert haben, dass das irgendwo auch mal in der Videothek oder so zu sehen ist, dass du mir jetzt versprichst, ja klar, du darfst nochmal zu Besuch kommen.
Ja klar, du darfst gerne kommen. Ihr dürft alle kommen. Alle da draußen dürfen kommen.
Sehr gut. Wir widmen uns heute, und jetzt kommen wir weg von Portugal, hin zu unserem Thema, der kalten Jahreszeit, nämlich dem Freeskiing. Und wir haben 2 Bombengäste für euch organisieren können, nämlich diese 2 hier.
Legende, britische Legende, immer crazy haircut.
Schon ewig mit dabei und immer top motiviert, so viel Energie.
His hair, of course.
Einer der konstantesten Fahrer, die es gibt im ganzen Skislopestyle.
Gemeint ist einer unserer heutigen Gäste, kein geringerer als James Woods. Und er bringt alles mit, was ein Gast in der Prosieben Fun Webshow braucht.
Kann sehr gut reden.
Aber nicht nur das. Der 28-Jährige kann auch herausragend Skifahren, egal ob beim Slopestyle.
Slopestyle is the real. You stand at the top of the slopestyle course and you got a mean business.
Oder in der Luft beim Big Air.
I love big air, like as a passion, I love big air as well because it is so much more that show for the crowd. In a lot of big airs, you're allowed to mess one up and go again. And you can switch off your brain to speed because it's sort of a one-hit wonder type bam.
Ist der Brite sehr erfolgreich. 2019 wurde er Slopestyle-Weltmeister in Park. Dazu kommen 5 X-Games-Medaillen, sogar Gold im Big Air, sowie Platz 4 bei Olympia 2018. Zudem ist Woods noch für jeden Spaß zu haben.
What are you doing?
Not skiing right now.
Für jeden Spaß zu haben ist auch unser zweiter Gast, Lisa Zimmermann.
In Neuseeland damals beim Weltcup waren wir öfters aus. Da bin ich dann in der Früh woanders aufgewacht, bin runtergegangen, wollte dann in der Früh abhauen und die Türen waren aber alle zu. Und bin wieder hoch in den ersten Stock und bin dann da aus dem Fenster rausgesprungen.
Den ein oder anderen Vorteil beim Skifahren zieht sie aus ihrer weiteren Leidenschaft, dem Eiskunstlaufen.
Ich war davor Eiskunstläuferin, also war es für mich eigentlich einfach, die Rampe runterzufahren, weil es war wirklich blankes Eis.
Um ihren Startplatz bei den X-Games musste die 26-Jährige trotzdem hart kämpfen.
Wenn ich mal eingeladen werden würde, dann würde ich natürlich fahren, aber die mögen mich anscheinend nicht so.
Doch am Ende ist alles aufgegangen.
Switch, Double Cork, 1080 und stell ihn hin, jawohl Lisa!
Ihn hin.
Das sind die Punkte. 47 Punkte.
Damit geht sie in Führung.
Gold in Aspen. Da darf es ruhig auch mal einen Seitenhieb in Richtung Veranstalter geben.
I have been waiting for invitation for the last, 3-4 years and I never got invited.
James Woods, wo die beiden sicher noch mehr über sich zu erzählen haben.
And here we go. A warm welcome to Lisa Zimmermann and James Woods, aka Woodsy. And we don't want to be impolite, so we switch to English now. Okay, James?
Thank you very much. Vielen Dank.
That's exactly the point that I wanted to speak about. Every English guy knows some German words.
Yeah. Well,
Tell us.
Come on. Oh, hey Schatzi, wie geht's?
That's fine. That's fine for the moment. What do you say about his German skills, Lisa?
It's pretty much a sentence everybody knows, huh?
Come on, cut me a bit of slack.
Yeah, okay, best buddy, it's like, you can speak pretty much German, right?
Yeah, straight up.
Lisa, tell us something about what are you doing at the moment? You're not skiing anymore, right?
I am skiing.
Uh-huh.
I was skiing yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm like spending a lot of time in the gym and with physios and stuff.
Okay, and Woodsy, you went skiing today. You're in Austria, right?
Yeah, man, game on. Always. I've just been snowboarding actually. Yeah, I was pretty much dead. Well, not dead, but my friend's a really good snowboarder, but he's pretty good on skis too, Billy Morgan. And he was just like, do you want to swap? So we swapped, and then next thing I know, Billy's hitting the big jumps, like the big World Cup and Prime jumps, and I was there looking like an idiot, so I had to like charge into these jumps. I never jumped on a snowboard in my life. I was like very airborne and very uncomfortable about it.
So guys, we're facing a very different winter season this year because of COVID-19, but you guys were in the mountains. Is it different this year, or is it just the same as every year?
Well, I'm not really in the fun park because I'm not at the prime park, so I did my first ski tour yesterday, which was pretty fun. And yeah.
So up the hill.
Yeah, up the hill.
Okay.
Your first ski tour this season or your life?
No, in my whole life.
I thought so.
There was even one guy, he stopped at the car and he was like, hey, can I help you with the bindings, girl? And I was like, yeah, please. Yep. That was fun.
Oh, Woodsy, what is happening there?
Nothing.
Is it your mom calling?
No, that was silly. I had a trap horn ready for later. I just downloaded it, but it went off by accident. So I'll bring it in later, and everyone got surprised.
Okay, guys. By now we know that you're very good skiers, but of course our audience wants to know a little bit more about you. So we invented a little game in this web show. It's called Finish the Sentence, and I will give you some sentence starts, and Nico will give you, James, some of that. And Lisa, I would say you do it first. Your funniest travel story is?
Well, I guess the one right before X Games, probably. I mean, there are a lot of funny ones, but before X Games, I put my ski one time in my life to the shop to get actually the bindings on my skis. And then, of course, Lisa forgot about it. And then in the morning, we wanted to drive to the airport, and it was like, fuck, where are my skis? And it was like, or it was in the evening, but it was the time the shop for sure, like, they were closed. So I was like, yeah, fuck, I don't have skis. I need to get my skis somehow. So actually, my friend knew somebody from the shop. They called him like super late. And then they were like, yeah, okay, somebody's going to come to the shop in like 15 minutes and get you the pair of skis. So I got my skis, then we wanted to drive, and then like my purse was not there anymore. And I was like, yeah, I need my purse. Like, where is it? We need a credit card. Because I had Laura with me, and I had to, like, because she was kind of my filmer, so I also had to pay for both of us. And I was like, yeah, okay, we have to find it. And we were searching the whole house, couldn't find it. And then in the end, we were like her dad had to give like us like his credit card, and then we took his credit card to the US. Because I couldn't find my purse. At least I had my passport. So then we finally wanted to drive, and then the car, like the back of the car. We couldn't close it, but the car was fully packed, so we had to close it somehow. And then like took us another half an hour to close it. And yeah, then we finally made it to the airport and actually got the flight.
Oh wow, that was spectacular.
Like a typical story next to the other stories where I didn't catch my flights and like didn't have a passport.
So, but there's one thing we need to know. What else did you buy with the credit card the father of your friend gave to you?
Nothing.
Okay.
only food and like the things you need, you know. Might be a Nintendo in it, but like.
Okay, Woodsy, you see, very strong questions. Nico, here's your first one.
All right, Woodsy. Finish the sentence. My favorite project of all time was.
Project like movie project.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know, man. It doesn't say. It could be any project. Could be, but in my head, it's a skiing project.
Doing laundry is a project as well.
Oh, what?
Doing laundry is a project as well. Whatever you like.
Well, I just went through that project just today. But it's not my favorite. That's for sure. I'm gonna go with ski movie project because obviously like that's what's pretty relevant right now, and that has to be Happy Days because that was the first ski movie I ever watched, and obviously that's a pretty life-changing moment, for any of us in this sort of world, when you first sort of get that glimpse into the world before you even really know about it, and it's sort of the thing that makes a lot of people like think like that's what I want to do, and it was certainly like that for me. I'd never watched a ski movie in my life. I obviously grew up in England and was skiing on the dry slope, like that story everyone's heard that already, but I'd never even watched any skiing. I had no idea what anybody else was up to. I was just sort of doing something that was really fun for me personally. There was no other outside source of information. There was no social media back then or anything like that. And one of the guys, he's older than me. I must have been like 13 years old or something like this. And he came around and he was just like, "You're watching this on VHS, just put it in," and sat me down. We just watched the whole thing, and that was Happy Days. And it's just one of the best experiences of my life. And I just seen all those guys acting like rock stars charging around. I was just like, this is where I want to be.
Nice. Lisa.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, this is not the question, but is that the boyfriend running around in the background?
Yeah, he just arrived from his last trip.
You can kiss him in front of the camera and say hi, it's fine. It's
so
fine.
Good, but like he has a problem with cleaning and putting all his stuff back to his wardrobe and stuff. So if he arrives at home, he has to do it. Like there's no other way around it.
Did he already bring the dinner, the lasagna?
No, he first has to like put all the stuff out of his suitcase and backpack. Like we can even arrive at 3 a.m. in the morning. Nobody would, I would never put my stuff in the wardrobe. But he arrives, first thing he does is like putting all this stuff back where it should be.
Good housemate. The next question for you, Lisa. My biggest fear with free ski is?
My biggest fear with free ski?
It's got to be sharks, surely. It's got to be.
I think tigers. Okay,
Tiger?
I'm going to rephrase the question.
Please.
Free skiing is a sport of joy that has brought a lot of joy in your life.
Yep.
But it has also maybe brought some fears at one point. Which ones?
Yeah, I just right now. I mean, I don't see injury as a fear because it's like we know if we start a sport, we know that stuff can happen. So it's like, I don't know. I can't really answer this question. Woodsy, do you have like a fear of free skiing?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a dangerous sport. Any action sport is dangerous, and obviously that's something that comes with the territory. You don't enter into things like this without knowing what's at stake, and obviously you have to sort of be prepared to put it all on the line, really, and that's pretty gnarly and pretty wild. And obviously, you know, I think we've all had a couple of friends that have passed doing this, and you know, much respect to them. But I think, you know, when you enter into it, you know, you sort of make those assessments in your mind, you make those calculations in your mind, and you sort of, you know, analyze it for yourself. And then when you reckon that it's all good and you're willing to go and you're motivated to put it all on the line and work for it, then all of a sudden you're not concerned with the fear aspect, because you're goal driven. You know, you're working towards a target within it, and you sort of have already assessed those fears, and then you put them away. So I think that, you know, the only fear for me would really be not being able to do this anymore. That would be my biggest fear. Because all the rest of it is for the birds, as far as I'm concerned.
Save it for later.
Actually, my one was like, probably it's like I had like a year where I didn't really have fun anymore. That was kind of like, for me, like a fear, because like I know that it was so much fun for me, and then with all the comps, it just ended that I wasn't that motivated anymore, and it was weird because it's my life, but at the same time I didn't have that much fun. But then I figured out again, so that was like kind of a fear time in free skiing for me.
My biggest fear is always falling out of the lift.
Yeah. Okay. This is I have a lot of more.
We needed that. That was getting heated. That was getting hot.
It's like,
I'm just getting fallen off lift too.
Yes. We all know Obstler.
Already into the answer.
Actually, on that note, yesterday I was coming down the lift, and you know, like, it's a really new fancy lift, gondola, and I sat, like, not in the chair, but I sat with my back to the glass, you know, and because the glass is a little bit away from the seat, you know, and you're supposed to sit this way, but I sat this way, and the glass is so clean in this brand new gondola, I like went, ooh, you know, and I had that little moment where I thought I was a goner.
Okay, well, we're going to learn more about current statuses in your careers and stuff. Obviously, we're going to speak more about your status, Lisa, as well. But now let's go back to a quick question, maybe with a quicker answer. Let's see. I know. The most awkward moment of my life was... That's a tough one.
Is it for me or Woodsy?
It's Woodsy.
Oh, perfect. I promised that.
That bullet, didn't you? Oh, damn. Oh, man, I do not know. This is really tough. I mean, it's always really awkward when somebody comes up to you and says, remember me, you know, and you're like, of course I don't. No, really, like, they've got goggles, they've got face masks, got you out, you're like, of course I do. I've actually got a few techniques that I won't share because, you know, maybe somebody listening will hear it and recognize the technique, where I like pretend to recognize somebody that's asked that question, but all I want to be is like,
Okay, Lisa, next question for you. Instagram is a platform to...
To show, I don't know, I just show stuff which I think is funny, or I just like it. And I watch it for getting motivated for skiing, surfing, or figure skating, or whatever.
Actually, Lisa, your account is a very fun one to follow. All of you guys out there. You made me smile in my bathroom many times in my life.
In the bathroom?
That's good to hear.
Okay, Woodsy, next question. If I would have to decide between X Games or Olympics, I would choose winning, I assume. Really?
The X?
You did that? Been there, done that.
Yeah, for sure, but, you know, I don't know, obviously, like, this question comes up, you know, a few times every now and again, but, you know, that's what I looked up from, you know, since day dot at the beginning. Like, that's what I've been dreaming about. You know, getting to be on that world stage, sort of under the lights that I wanted to be under. You know, like, this is a dream since I was a kid. You know, The Olympics is fantastic, and I'm obviously very grateful for everything that it's brought. And of course, I'm going to keep plugging away at that. And I got some unfinished business at the Olympics, like for sure. And I want that definitely. But X Games is the dream, and I'll never forget why I'm here and sort of where I come from with that.
We talk about your X Games experience later on. And now I would say we cut the first game, but we come to the second game. And as you know, we really like to have the behind-the-scenes view in this show. And we had a look to your Instagram profiles, and we found some pictures, some images which were very interesting. And Woodsy, we start with you.
No!
Yes, of course. Here's your first picture, and it shows you in a very dangerous surrounding.
Yeah.
You did a skydive and you're almost naked. Am I right?
Yeah, man. I mean, if you're not aware of my signature underwear line, you should really jump on that and get yourself a pair. It's all for a good cause, for testicular cancer with ball bags, so plug city.
Good to know.
But no, this was my very first skydive that since I got my license. You do the course, you get your license, and then then you're free to jump as and when you want. And that's what I wanted to do. That my first jump by myself, I was like, right in my pants, let's go.
But when you jumped out of the plane, you had this parachute on. I know Travis Pastrana once jumped without anything.
Yeah, that's true. That guy's, cojones, serious. But actually, fun thing about that jump though is that I to start that jump when we were in the plane, I jumped out with my friend who was in a wingsuit, So I started the ride in my pants, like sitting on top of him, like Aladdin on a magic carpet. So, that's my little extra.
That looks very exciting. Is Lisa still there? I don't know.
I can still hear you, but I don't see you guys.
Okay, maybe I have a little problem with the video connection. Maybe you just skip out and come in again. Oh, wait a second.
Yeah,
there you are.
Okay.
There you are.
But I only see Nico. How? Because I'm supposed to see...
Could be worse. Could be worse than seeing just Nico.
Okay.
Okay, Lisa, of course we have a picture of your Instagram, and we've seen Woodsy almost naked, and now we see you almost naked. It's a photo from 2018, I think. You've really been into to Playboy. Here we see you. I don't know if you see it, but you're supposed to notice this picture. What was your first thought when they asked you, do you want to be in the Playboy?
Well, actually, they asked me the Olympics before already once, and at this time my manager was like, "You're too young for this," and I was kind of like, because at this age I was like pretty much party girl, and I was like super stoked on it. But now, like 4 years later, I'm definitely okay. I was too young for that at this time, and then I was super stoked when they asked again. Even so, I have changed like a little bit till then, but like anyway, I think it's like cool.
Okay, so no worries, no need to regret. What did your parents say?
Well, my dad is like, because he sometimes gets like, I don't know why, but there's fan posts sometimes coming to his place, or like his friends saying like, hey, your daughter is in the Playboy, which is kind of weird, I guess, for that. But like, I don't know. Like, they are pretty chill about it.
Do you still have
Lisa's dad? Actually, if you would know Lisa's dad, you'd know he'd be kind of cool with it. He's mellow.
Okay. And are you still in touch with the Playboy guys? Because a friend of mine was asking, and he's called Nico.
Ah. Was he asking because he wanted to pose himself? Or?
Yeah, in Portugal on a surfboard. Okay, let's go on with another picture. You have to explain this one here, Lisa. It's from 2016, so it was 2 years before the Playboy shoot, and this looked very nice. I think we have one leg. This is both your leg, right?
About which, like, I don't see the picture.
You don't see it?
So you have to explain it to me.
It's a shot of your unshaved legs, which is
Okay.
just one of the many funny things you did when you did over the last years.
Yeah, I thought it looks really funny. That's why I posted it. It was not like a background. Like, I didn't think somebody special about this. It was just, I don't know. Also, we have to say a lot of girls don't shave in winter. It's not only me, but I just posted. But I'm just like on the point where I'm like, I don't want to say I'm like not shaving at all anymore, but I'm like, I paid almost 2,000 euro for the laser thingy, which you can do now.
Yeah.
And like my hair still looks exactly like on the picture, so I'm like, okay, fuck this, I just don't shave anymore.
And it's a very good idea for the winter months, I can tell you. I have the same haircut with my legs. And Woodsy, we have another picture of you, of your Instagram. David Prowse, the Darth Vader actor, just died, and you're maybe the biggest Star Wars fan on Earth. Tell us something about your obsession with Star Wars.
You know, I don't know. I don't know at all, actually. I think it kind of maybe started like because I was stoked on Star Wars, and then the new films started coming out, and like at that time we were all in Breckenridge, like every December. We'd all be in Breckenridge for Do Tour, like the whole crew. And I had my apartment in Breckenridge. And it was in December that the new Star Wars films always came out, right? Yeah. And so loads of people would be staying in my apartment or like coming in and visiting like all the time. We'd be playing PlayStation, whatever. And then I'd like arrange for everybody to go and watch Star Wars. So it kind of started there, I think. And then because I had my apartment there, whenever anybody bought me something, it would be Star Wars orientated, you know? So all of a sudden, I just had more Star Wars things than you can shake a stick at. Like my apartment was like a shrine, and I had this reputation, and I'm more than happy to run with it, man. I love a bit of sci-fi. It's nowhere near as sick as Playboy. Like, I'm embarrassed. Lisa's just running the show, and I'm getting pulled up for liking kids movies.
No worries, man. Thanks for showing us around on your Instagram profiles. As you know, you both have a lot of things in common. Great hairstyles, gold medals in the X Games, and you won on the same day. Did you know that?
This is big. This is big news.
Yeah. But
well, at that point, I was drinking. That was definitely a really good night. For me, it was incredibly special because it was actually the first time that my little brother had come and watched me ski. And yeah, it just turned out to be like, you know, one of the nights of my life. And he was right there for me the whole time. It was really, really special, and I've got no fear in saying that I went, you know, hard as it comes that night. That was a big one for me. I woke up halfway down the road to California. It was crazy. I remember I don't really know what happened, but I got chucked in the van with Jossie, myself, and Jossie's dad Bruce was driving us to Mammoth, and it was like halfway that I realized what happened.
You already told us that you would prefer to win at the X Games rather than winning Olympia. What is the fascination about the X Games? I mean, in my head, Olympia is the biggest thing that could happen, but your opinion is different.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Olympics is huge, and you know, it goes out to such a broad audience, and it's massive. You know, it's a lot of people's, you know, dream from the very, very beginning. But I think the thing that the sort of the masses don't really understand is, like, for me personally, and I know for a lot of people, like, maybe it's just my era, but you know, we were never exposed to the Olympics. We were just kids sort of cutting about, messing around, like, you know, with no agenda really. Like, some guys like competing, some people like filming. It wasn't about competitions, you know, like, and initially competing was the lame thing to do. and X Games kind of brought it into the limelight and made it something rad to do. But even, when it was X Games at the top of that Christmas tree and everything revolved around that, being a pro skier was still, so much about filming, having a personality, and competitions, was a part of that. There was park skiing, halfpipe skiing, rail jams. I don't even know if big air was a separate category, but there was big mountain as well. There was moguls. People are still doing that. Like, it was just a very, very different world. And as I sort of mentioned earlier, like, X Games has been the pinnacle for me, and that dream come true to be there since I was a kid. So, I can never turn my back on that. Like, most respect to the Olympics, and I want to go and I want to crush it 100%, no doubt about it. But, X Games will always be that sort of, guiding star really for me.
Lisa, be honest, what was harder, to become an X Games gold medalist or even getting an invitation? As I heard, that's not so easy.
Definitely getting the invitation.
On the gold, which was amazing. We were sitting in the studio and cheering for both of you guys. It doesn't feel like it's that long ago, actually. I still remember. And then I remember, I think we called you like very short after, and then we asked you, hey Lisa, where's your medal? Can you show us? And she's like, no, I don't know. I don't have it somewhere. It could be somewhere in my luggage, but I don't know where it is. It's a different story than you would be with the passion for the X Games with Lisa. But do you guys think it's easier for Europeans to get in now than it used to be? Yeah, huh?
I don't know. Like, for me, they always told me, like, I don't get an invitation because of the contest ranking from World Cups and I don't know how the other two is called, FVP, whatever. And so I think if you're good in this and have good competition results, then you get probably in. But I sometimes struggle with competing, so that's why I probably never had enough points or stuff.
Woodsy, you had some more bronzes in slopestyle as well, and the gold and big air. Which one's actually your favorite discipline?
Oh, that's tough. I think that, well, obviously I like both of them. I think that, there's something about slopestyle, pinning together, the whole run. It's sort of a little bit more, it takes a lot more concentration. It's a little bit more like well-rounded, whereas big air, obviously with the one hit, it truly is big air. And you're focused on one trick, and those tricks are always, more than you can deliver in a slopestyle run, back to back to back tricks. So they're obviously very different. I think that, nobody would argue that big air is more fun to compete at, because you're focused on one thing at a time. It's a little bit easier to get your brain box around, whereas slopestyle is kind of, you get a lot more going on. You're like trying to focus on 1,000 things at once and stay calm kind of thing and pin it all together. So I like both for different reasons, really. Yeah.
Easy answer. What do you like better? And then I have no answer. No, dude, I'm just kidding. I mean, it's like the hardest question ever.
It is really hard. It's really hard. I'll tell you what, if there was a whole bunch of people watching, like people I'm trying to impress, I'd rather do big air.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because I'll throw it down for them right there. Boom. It's like, come on, watch me. It's going to be sick. Boom. And then, but if I'm doing it for me, I'll probably do slopestyle because I'm like, right, I can do this. Stitch it together, be sick all the way down. You know. So you still not got an answer. Just go bigger.
As I hear you speaking about both things, I would say you love both. maybe to finish this one. We've just seen the pictures, Lisa, and I have to correct myself. I'm afraid of falling out of the lift and standing on top of such a slope. Are there any moments where athletes are maybe a little bit afraid of driving down, of going downhill, or is there just adrenaline in your head?
I mean, if it's about competing, I'm like, for sure, sometimes like a little bit, because then it's getting windy or it's icy. Usually I would never jump at these conditions, but then like you just have to go, and then you have to think super hard and watch the wind and see if it turns and whatever. So this is pretty much, if I'm not sure about the speed, it was quite like a hard time for me, because I like to know the speed. But yeah, otherwise I'm usually not too afraid. I mean, or if they build some huge courses, like, I don't know, when I came the first time to Tutor or whatever, and obstacles are down suddenly like 3 meters higher than usually, you're like a little bit like afraid of them.
Okay, and did injuries, and you had some, change your mind in some kind of way?
Was it for me or Woodsy?
Maybe both. Lisa first, ladies first, and after that Woodsy.
For me it didn't change that much. Like, I mean, I did some mental training things, and like, for me it's like before. The only thing which is shitty is if you're still not fit, so you feel, for example, your knee or whatever, then like, that's something else. If you feel like, hey, you have some limits, you cannot do everything, because some movements are not okay if you do them. So that's like a problem. But like, as soon as you're like fit again, like, it's like, then for me at least it's like before.
What about you, Woodsy?
Yeah, injuries are obviously really difficult to deal with. Like, they come in all shapes and sizes. I think kind of the worst injuries are the ones that sort of you're plagued with for a long time. Things that you sort of, like, you can kind of ski, but you kind of can't. Like, that's what's really hard. Like, and I think everyone sort of goes through them. Like, definitely the worst situation to be in is to be up the hill. It's not the worst situation to be in. The worst situation to be in is to be completely on the caps. That's the worst thing ever. But
yeah,
if you've got an end date, you break a bone or something, it's like 6-week recovery, a little bit of rehab, and boom, you're back shredding, no problems. But like tweaking your knee here and there, something like that, it's like there's enough going on trying to ski in the first place, rather, as well as thinking about, oh man, I've got a bit of a sore knee or something, or like my back's a bit sore, maybe I shouldn't do it today. Like, I just do a few runs here so I can be good for next week. Like, that's really frustrating more than anything from my side.
Yeah, that's the same I wanted to tell as well.
And maybe you found a way to prevent some injuries. We have some images of you, and you kind of have the same hobby. It's called ice bathing. Tell us something about, Lisa. Is it something you do once or twice a day, a week, a month, a year?
I mean, I had some times before X Games, I did it pretty much almost every day with my friend.
But why? It's cold!
Yeah, well, we saw, I think it was Chelsea Wells, who like once posted something with Wim Hofman, like with the Iceman, and from there on, like, me and Laura, we kind of checked it out, and then we started doing this ice bathing stuff, and like, it's actually pretty fun. Now I have some problems with my immune system, so I have to be super careful, but I really want to like get back to it.
Do you have any Woodsy, regenerational benefits with ice bathing, or is it just because you're crazy?
What was the word you said? What did you say?
That's a word you cannot use now.
I think
I just didn't understand.
The ice bathing thing. How often do you do it?
I used to do it more. The last time I was in the icy cold water, like, it was in Austria in December, and it was this frozen waterfall, and then I jumped in the plunge pool at the bottom because I thought it was awesome. Like, you got to understand that, like, traveling around all the time in the winter, you go skiing and then you finish the day and you've still got loads of energy, but it's sort of dark outside and you're stuck in your apartment. So if there's an opportunity to do something that's exciting, you're going to do it. And usually the only thing that's exciting for us is to jump in some freezing cold water. So I think that's where it's sort of come from with me. But the last time I did it was a couple of years ago, and I got like so cold. Like, I think I got some real deal hypothermia type cold. And now I have no interest in jumping in ice cold. Leave that to the kids. I've been there and I've done it. And
that's exactly what I wanted to hear. Nico, be in our team.
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry, I've actually had some in my little village here. We lost the power once or twice. This is no joke. This is the first time this happened in the last 33 web shows. So sorry. I'm back and I'm fully hyped on listening to you guys. And I know you guys have another hobby that you both still do, which is jumping into warmer board, which is surfing, right? Lisa, passion for surfing?
Well, I hate warm water, but I love surfing.
Yeah, what do you mean? What do you mean?
But you hate warm water.
Yeah, I get like all my symptoms from my head and my neck are popping up if I jump into hot water or warm water. So that's also one reason why in summer I always I need for example, after skiing in Hintertux, it was perfect because when my head hurts, I can just jump into the cold water after and then it's fine again. Or I also did an ski instructor training in Tux and we had to sit in front of 2 hours in front of a TV thingy. And I mean, I actually can't sit for that long, so I'm standing, but I anyway got so much head pressure that I always had to go in the breaks between into cold water. And that's the thing why I also love cold water.
Sorry, but you have to explain us a bit about your current health situation. Because now we get more and more infos, but give us the overview.
The short overview is pretty... there's no short overview, so I have a lot of symptoms. The three biggest problems is heat. So if it's hot outside or if it's hot water or any heat therapy or whatever is super bad. I get tingling in my neck and my fingers and super much head pressure. And then it goes that my hands start shocking at some point when I don't stop and get cold water. That's one problem. The next one is that I can't sit for long. I get exactly the same symptoms, like tingling in my neck and my hands, and then at some point it starts shocking and also head pressure. And then in front of laptops and phones is also super shitty. That's also why my boyfriend actually did my Instagram, he's done my Instagram job for the past, 2 years, 3 years.
What causes those symptoms? Is it because of the sport you did? The professional sport?
That's the problem why we probably didn't solve it yet, because it's not really clear. I got some small symptoms after concussion in 2012, but I went every year once to the doctor because I was like, hey, I can't carry a backpack anymore, when it's a little bit heavy, if I look to other people, it looks like they don't have a problem with it. And I had all those things sometimes also with an unstable neck or the feeling of an unstable neck. But the doctors never found something and always sent me back home. So at some point I was just okay, I know that I can't work in front of a computer for a 40-hour week job thingy. But I actually always wanted to do sports or coach somebody or stuff like this. But then in 2018, it got suddenly way worse. And then there's the thing, the opportunity, there are the three different thingies. One doctor says it might be a virus, which is in there. That's why it got worse. And some kind of symptoms would explain that, also with my immune system and stuff. But the other one is okay, it's maybe because of the concussion, a late symptom thingy. But I didn't really have a bail before, so it was random. Or the others say it might be also the knee, because the knee was more unstable, so the whole system totally pretty much burned out then. It's not really clear what it is.
Okay. And now you're about to reinvent yourself a little bit. You told us about you want to coach somebody. What is your future plan right now?
My plan is to ski as good as I can, pretty much, and do maybe a movie like I'm gonna do a movie project, but I want to also film a lot and learn new stuff and just have fun. The problem is with competing, for me it's not possible to compete like again, because like with my symptoms, it's like if it's icy right now, I can't ride, or if it's too warm, I can't ride without a helmet. With a helmet, so I would be also not able to compete then with no helmet. And like there are like a lot of things which don't work for me. So and on a competition, you have to be fit on that day, and I cannot tell if I'm gonna be able to ride on that day. So it doesn't make sense for me to compete. But if I do film stuff and like just ride by myself in the park, if I feel, okay, fuck, my head is really bad today, like my neck hurts, I have to go, I just stop skiing immediately and can go down. And if it's a day where everything is working, then I can just film and like do stuff. So for me, it's like way easier to do movie projects. And then of course, like I always had some stuff in my brain which I wanna do, and now I have, with like not competing, I have finally time. So I wanna do like ski camps and like, I like got a couple of things in my head which I want to do next to skiing, but my main focus like is still on skiing.
Wow. I to be honest, I wasn't 100% sure if this is still your main focus. Do you still love skiing?
Yeah, like actually I like it. Like if it's a day where not my knee and my head like goes in, because then I'm really pissed and like you won't see me happy on the mountain. But when I ski and everything is fine, I'm having like way more fun than the years before my injury, because it's just it took so long till I can ski again, like till I was able to ski again, and yeah. So it's like I'm like way motivated now, and also you have 3 years watching and seeing stuff you want to learn, and then you're suddenly fit again and you have so much stuff you want to learn that you're like kind of actually over motivated. You have to choose, okay, I have to start here.
And the competitor is still inside of you. That's what we can hear. All the best for you, Lisa, for your health. And Woodsy, what's your next project?
Oh man, I mean, I'm just blown away like by that, Lisa. I'm so sorry you're going through that. That's so big. Like, huge respect for still like having that froth, you know, to get up there on those good days. That's massive, you know. I just you should have said that first. I was just complaining my knee was sore.
Well, I don't like. It's like with because with my head, it was really like when people were next to me, they were like complaining like, oh, I have uni so long, and I was sitting there next to them, and I was thinking like, yeah, I wish I could sit that long and be in front of a computer the whole day, or I don't know. But it's like, you know, it's like also I have then my small problems, which are actually no problems, so it's like all good.
Well, there's just mad respect, seriously, Lisa. That's huge, and I really hope you're good soon. Yeah.
It's like okay, like we figured it out. Like I mean, my boyfriend has to help me a lot of times, but we figured a way out that like don't get head pressured for too often and kind of get the symptoms down, and like yeah, we have some tactics.
All the best for you.
I can do sport again, so that's like the most important thing for me.
That's really hard to hear, but all the best. Woodsy, it's
yeah.
As you told us, it's very hard to see a colleague like Lisa in this situation. Do you appreciate skiing even more when you hear stories like this?
Hell yeah! I mean, how can I not? You know, it's massive. I mean, you know, we say it, you know, quite a lot. You know, like just how lucky we are on the mountain and stuff. But it's not really until you know these things, you know, staring you in the face like that right there, Lisa. Seriously, like where it's like, okay, that's what it means to be grateful. You know, like I'm so lucky, and yeah, I really hope you're back soon for real. That's big.
Thanks.
Nico, the last question is up to you, Grandmaster.
Well, should I give a? We have a lot of questions from the viewers actually.
Yes.
Lisa, I like this one for you. When are you gonna compete in at the Olympics in ice Kunstlauf? Was that figure skating? Good point.
I unfortunately figured out that like the girls are meanwhile doing like quads on the ice, so I'm not gonna be able to do that probably. I definitely wanna do like dribbles like as soon as the ice skating halls are open, but I'm not sure if I will ever get to a quad. But
I bet you do.
yeah, I would really like to, but yeah, I really have to work on my jumping height to get to a quad on ice.
Wow.
That's pretty mind-bending, really.
I love like thinking really like, far. So my goal definitely would be a quad, but I'm far away from that. But anyway, it's still a quad goal.
Good luck for that goal and for whatever the future brings. Thank you very much, Lisa Zimmermann and James Woods, aka Woodsy, right? What was the last time somebody called you James?
I'm not sure. Like in this world, nobody.
Okay, let's stick to Woodsy. Thank you very much.
I was once asked Woodsy, what's your last name?
Woodsy Wood. Easy. Woodsy Wood.
I guess it's Woods. Yeah, and they bought it as well. I'm like, well, why?
Woodsy Woods. Thank you very much. Thank you, Nico to Portugal. It was a pleasure to talk to you. Stay safe and stay healthy, especially you, Lisa. All the best for the future, and I would love to see you guys again.
Bye.
Yeah, me too.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, gang.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Das hat's noch nie gegeben.
What the